initial thoughts on The Promised Neverland Season 2 was that of a resigned indifference. Oh, that anime. The anime about 3 genius kids getting out of a farm because evil nasty demons were trying to eat them. Yes, the anime my reaction to which was a strong shrug. Wasn't bad per se, but neither was it really good, you know? It was a story that ultimately didn't need a sequel, mostly because it ended on a very nice note of, we've escaped. Now what? The answer to that question is how you get the Alien, Predator, Terminator, and Sword Art Online franchises. And boy, talking about me being correct. The Promised Neverland Season 2 is the continuation of The Promised Land Season 1, surprisingly, that continues the story of Ray, Emma, and all the other characters now having to survive outside of the comfort of the house in an increasingly more difficult and dangerous environment filled with demons and humans that want to capture them. Now, I have to properly warn people, I still haven't read the manga proper. I've glanced at it here and there, mostly to see what the screaming and wailing was all about, so I do kinda know how the story goes, but I honestly don't have the time, effort, or desire to actually go and read it. As far as I understood, they've pretty much skipped everything people liked and half-assed the things people disliked, which honestly speaking, even to people like me, is really noticeable, but we'll get to it, don't you worry. I guess what I want to say by this is that Promised Neverland struck me as a sort of story that gets increasingly worse and or convoluted the longer it goes. Still, if you liked the manga and the first season, then I suggest you probably shouldn't watch the second season. If you watched the first season only, go read the manga. Okay, now that these people have fucked off, let's consider The Promised Neverland Season 2 by its own merits. The show continues to be good until, I'd say, episode 4. Till episode 4, I'd say the overall atmosphere of the show is kept well intact. After the episode 4, it kinda starts going downhill. First, all the things about the bunker feel a bit rushed and never resolved. Then you start to notice the significant drops in the show's animation quality. Then the show skips about a year or so to show us the heroes living in some old temple and going around a demon city and all that. None of this is explained and pretty much nothing about the bunker really mattered in the slightest. Then on episode 6, Norman comes around, surprising no one, and literally in one episode vomits enough plot exposition to drown him in the most experienced prostitute. The basic gist is that he has developed something that can kill all the demons, but Emma doesn't really want to kill all the demons because she met some nice demons, and that means they can all live in peace and shit. None of this feels justified, and it makes Emma look like a naive Mary Sue. That all other characters devolved into her cheerleading group also doesn't really help. And after episode 7, you start to feel the abridged nature of the show. Everything after this goes so fast, it's almost as if the team itself wanted to be done with the show as soon as humanly possible. So you have this predictable plot where Norman suddenly realizes that genociding an entire fucking species is probably not a very good thing, and then they go and rescue all the other children. There's also these lame attempts at diversion that aren't justified in the slightest, like the lobotomized genie's betrayal. None of this feels justified. And then, I shit you not, after they've successfully escaped, Emma, Ray, and other people I don't really give a shit stay behind, and what happens next is a slideshow of all the things they were doing and how they all won the war for everything that is good. Good to see that the only thing differing my show from a studio production is the graphics budget. And all of this ends on Emma finally returning to Earth and they lived happily ever after. None of this feels justified. So yes, even if you disregard the fact that they've butchered the manga, as it stands the show isn't really good either. It feels abridged, like a rough retelling of a story by a person that has only read the Wikipedia article listing the plot of all the episodes. All of the characters in the story feel as if they're just a rough retelling as well. Emma's love for demons or life or whatever feels as if the screenwriter wanted to make a strong female protagonist without actually showing anything that actually makes her that way. Oh, and also the budget they had ran out on episode 4. In conclusion, Isabella, suck my dick. Suck my dick, The Promised Neverland.